Hi, everyone. It's a little on the late side, 7:20. This is my closing comment, number 235. Uh, it was a pretty ugly day today, and it started with the April CPI number coming out, ex food and energy, as the worst reading in history, down 0.8%. It was also the biggest drop since November of 2008, and it really didn't get a whole lot better than that. I have the same chart up that I had this morning because it really didn't do much during the day, and that does not favor the positive, I don't think. As I pointed out this morning, we were in a fairly short range day here yesterday, and then again today, and again tonight, although tonight we're down about half a buck. But what's more important is this 5 day, which we just crossed to the upside and didn't get any action to follow through, coming right underneath this 50 day and seemingly rolling over as it did here, as it did here. So I'm somewhat concerned about that. I think that the biggest hint of what was to come today occurred around the middle of the day when Rick Santelli came on from CNBC and gave the auction of 10-year notes an A rating, which is something he rarely does. But his points were the same. It was the biggest 10-year auction in history at $32 billion. And it finished at the lowest rate, not the lowest daily rate, but the lowest auction rate of 0.70. So we had the biggest at the lowest rate. And what happened was it was dramatically oversubscribed. They call it bid to cover. And it essentially is the same thing as when a company does an IPO and it gets sold out and there's more demand. There was a tremendous amount of demand here. I can only expect that it was flight to safety money. And the market really didn't do anything for a couple of hours until it broke below 24,050, about 25 minutes before the close. And then we went from down about 200 to down the close 457 or 1.9%. So that was a very ugly last 20 minutes. The NASDAQ was down 190 or 2.06, and the S&P was down 60 or 2.05. So those are pretty much in line. What wasn't in line was the Russell, which fell almost 46 points, 3.46%, and the transports, which fell 233 or 2.8%, but are down on the week already, 332 or 4%. The gold was up about $8. It was higher. It was kind of a quiet day, and I don't think that we can get back on the bull side of gold until we start to close above the 1738 area. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in a second. And you'll see we still have this downtrend, and we're just about ready, it looks like, for the 5 to cross up through the 20 here. But this is the area that I'm talking about, this area right in here with all of these closes. And that number, the highest close there is about 1745, but the closes start down here at about 1737. So the oil, uneventful, up $1.25, now down 59 cents. Bitcoin, which came down hard yesterday and then rallied off the lows and closed today 88.70, which was up about 75 on the day. The volume was lighter on the New York, but heavier on NASDAQ. And the New York was better than 3 to 1 down. The NAS was only down about 2.5 to 1. There were only two winners on the Dow, and one of them was Walmart, and it was up less than 1 Dow point, not a point for Walmart, less than 1 Dow point. So up maybe 20 cents. On the downside, we had Goldman Sachs down 40 Dow points, McDonald's down 30, 3M down 29, Microsoft down 29, Visa down 27, and Apple, Boeing, and Caterpillar all down 25. So it was a particularly ugly day. We'll have to see. What I thought might be a problem today turned out to not be any problem at all, and that was Dr. Fauci's discussion and examination by the Senate. He was his measured, calm self, and while he did have some bad news to give, it didn't really hurt the market. I mean, that occurred very early in the day. All right, folks, that's it, and I'll be back in